Hello and welcome to Totally Rovers with Luke and Liam, a couple of Blackburn Rovers fans talking about Rovers. On the pod this week, we're going to be doing the transfer roundup. Then we're going to look at the pre-season friendly against NEC Nijmegen, and then a pre-season summary. And then last but not least, we're going to be doing a bit of a quick preview of the opening game into the Championship, which gets underway against West Bromwich Albion. So, before we get started, how are you doing today, Liam?
Doing very good, thank you, Paul. No, I've busy week. I've had a busy week with like a barbecue and garden furniture clearance sale. I've had the dog and the kids staying over tonight, so I've managed to clear them off. So I've got time to pod. Because end of the day, I always make time to pod. I enjoy what I do. So, what
It's
about
great to
yourself?
be
How
back
are
here.
you?
Yeah, it's great to be back here doing the pod. I've just been pretty busy spending time with family and other recreational activities and hobbies. So, anyway, let's get underway and get started with the transfer roundup.
Sure thing.
Hot off the press today, on the time of recording, Callum Brittain has officially left Blackburn Rovers and has gone to Middlesbrough for an undisclosed fee, which is rumored to be around £3.5 million plus add-ons. One of our valuable assets that has left the club in this transfer window. Um, so, what do you make of Callum Brittain leaving, Liam?
Well, I mean, I like Britain. I think he's one of the better right backs in the Championship. Personally, I didn't want to see him go. I think what we've got there is a good rounded player that's good at getting forward. He's good at playing the ball into the box. You know, you're going to get some assists and attacking returns, but you also know for well he mops up at the back as well. He does pretty well at both ends of the pitch. He's experienced now. He's been a good asset for us, but he was ready to move on. We weren't willing to sell him until we got a decent fee. I think we've got that now. Rumored to be about 3.5 million, wasn't it? But yeah. Um,
Yeah, it was rumored to be on that.
but yeah, no, like I say, he's going to a good club in Middlesbrough. Maybe that might be the jump up he needs. Maybe that might be the next step in his career. I don't know, but it's going to be sad to see him go. Like I say, thankfully he stayed professional. He didn't kick up a fuss. Um, Carried on playing well in the pre-season tour for us in Spain. And like I say, I'd rather him go now than lose him in a year's time on a free like we have done with some players. So I think 3.5 million is not a bad price for him. I do think it's a big loss to us because he was a very good player in that position. But good luck to him. I wish him all the best. Wish him every success and everything. But as long as it's not at Rovers' expense.
I think that's very true. Yeah, I'm. It's a bittersweet feeling with Callum Brittain going. It's sad to see him go because he was one of our valuable assets and one of our star performers last season. But like what you said, I'd rather have one of our star players go to be sold on and run the club cashing in rather than letting him run down his contract and leave Rovers free on the free, which we've been a bit of a tradition over the past like couple of years at least, hasn't it? And
Yeah,
this looks like it could be a sign that we're hopefully. I hope that we see that this is a sign that we're bucking that trend now. If players become valuable assets and other clubs come sniffing in and putting a sizable offer, cash in on them, let them go, cash in on them. But the
yeah,
club looks like they've also been quite proactive in this transfer market by getting not only one but two right backs in. Not only to replace Britain, but to add some depth into the squad as well.
yes,
But my only concern is they're brought in from overseas and a bit of an unknown quantity, which we'll go on about later with the latest right back we got in. But I was a bit disappointed with how Callum Brittain was in the Aki Stanley pre-season, with not playing, being absent from the squad, and then
yeah,
coming back in to play against Everton, knuckle down, and the same against Elche when went over to Spain and Qatar SC. But yeah, he's actually going the right way about it. I think there was a bit of a method to the madness in it in riping him up for that sale as well, so we could sort of cash in more money and maximise that sale for him.
yeah.
So, you know what? I think it was really amicable, Callum Brittain leaving that message on the club's social media platforms as well, with
Yeah,
the
I watched
message
that.
that he
It's very
sent.
nice touch from him, to be fair. So
Hi Rovers fans, I just wanted to come on here and say a big thank you to you guys. It's been a very special 3 years. I've felt the love from you guys since day one, and I've made loads of memories on the way. I wanted to say thank you to all of the coaches over the 3 years, and all the players as well. I've made some really good friends here, and yeah, it's been special. It's been a bit of a emotional send-off, but it's time for a new challenge for me, so hopefully I can have a warm reception when I come back. But yeah, I just want to wish the club a really good time in the future, and hopefully it goes all well. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I think he wanted to ensure that he left the club on a positive note as well. And personally, I wish Callum Brittain all the best. And any Middlesbrough fans that are watching and listening, yeah, I've got a decent right back on their team now. You know, you're going to
Absolutely.
get a nice pace. Yeah, you're going to get a decent pacey right back who can press on, push the ball forward, good dribbler, good distribution of the ball when it comes to crossing it in and making them passes. And he's also improved during his time at Rovers in backtracking, being on the defence as well. So has
Yeah,
become arguably during his time at Rovers into being one of the best right backs in the Championship. So
I would say so.
obviously, yeah, obviously it is a like I said before, it's a bittersweet decision of him leaving. But I think all round, looking at the bigger picture, is in best interest not only for Callum Brittain but for the club as well. I think it will
Yeah,
help the club better going forward. That's if they reinvest the money into getting players in to the squad. Which, from how I see it right now, it looks like they're probably reinvesting some of that money back into it. Which looks like they could be getting a little bit of a player trading model coming coming in now, given the situation with the owners and the finances. So, which looks like Rovers have done the business there by getting Lewis Miller in, which was our latest arrival at the time of recording, who Rovers signed from Scottish Premiership side Hibernian. He's an Australian international, 24 years old. He's got he's a tall, strong, and physical right back. So I think from based on that research I got him in his profile that he could be more of a defensive right back. And if you play, I don't know, Montgomery and Ryan Ellerby further up forward, he could be the more defensive duties, whereas the other two could probably be more on the offensive. Um, I think with his size and height as well, I think he could be a powerful right back for us, which could be good for set pieces, whether it's defending them or trying to score set pieces for us. That could be an option for us. But I'm only judging Lewis Miller by the highlights of what I've seen him so far with footage. But it remains to be seen, really. I can't really make an informed view of him now until I've seen him in a Rover shirt, really. I think that's really the best time to see how he does once we're further down later stages of the season or once the season's been on over and done with. So what did you make of Rovers getting Lewis Miller? Did you get any insight on him or
I've
information on him?
only seen a couple of YouTube packages of him. So what I've seen of him, he looks reasonably pacey. He looks strong and physical, which is definitely what we need in the Championship. Um, Not sure what I can't really judge him on his ability to take the ball forward and distribution and passing and all that, crossing into box and that properly yet. But I mean, we could see that come to fruition. I mean, he's played in the Scottish Premiership, so um, I tend to see that link made a lot about Celtic and Rangers being able to hack at the Premier League, and I hear a lot of debate saying, well, no, it's probably more Championship level. I think it's caught more on the Championship level. I think that's kind of whereabouts the level is from Scottish Premier League and Championship. They're probably similar level in terms of competitiveness and quality. So personally, I think he should be at a level where he should be able to make that transition across the Championship quite well. Fingers crossed. But again, it's an unknown quantity. He could hit the ground and he could be a brilliant asset for us, and he could be just what we need to replace Britain with. But we don't know until we see it. He's going to need time.
Yeah, that's what he'll need, won't he? When you get a player that comes into play in another league, from another league, it can take time. Some players can hit the ground running. Some might take them a while to bed themselves in and ease themselves into it. I think on paper he looked like he could be an interesting signing. Could be a good one for us. Like what we said, the physicality, the Championship being a physical league. I think Lewis Miller has that profile built up to play in the Championship, which could be
Yeah,
one of the reasons the club has gone for him. So it'd be interesting to see. I don't think it's a like-for-like replacement for Britain. I
no,
think he's a right back, but in a sort of a different mould that that we could have, particularly with his size and his strength. And it'd be interesting to see what his distribution of the ball will be. But what I've seen him in the air and for set pieces, I think that could be an advantage for us as well. Because we don't have many physical players in our team, do we? That
no,
physicality, tall and strong. We've only got Gay, really, haven't we? And maybe Dom Hyam, who can score in the air and you know and help out with the aerial duels as well, and maybe Scott Wharton. But they're the only three players really that tend to be aerial threats. So I think it could be good to have a player like Lewis Miller on the books and in
yeah.
the squad for doing that as well. It's not been
I think
confirmed yet, but apparently Rovers are looking at getting an attacking midfielder.
yeah.
20-year-old Swedish midfielder Axel Henriksson. He's
I don't know
an
much
attacking
about
mid.
him, but I'll
No,
go off
but
you on this one.
yeah, I've looked at him playing in the Swedish league. He's a tall, strong, physical number 10. Probably add another dimension to the Rovers squad. So it could be a bit of rotation between him and Campwell and even Igati in
Yeah,
playing further up the line. And what I've seen from him on the highlights is he's got a good distribution of the ball. He's a good dribbler. He's got a bit of vision and creativity with picking out them passes, creating chances. Bit of a playmaker. Um, I think it'll definitely add depth and competition in that position as well between him, Tyjon, and Campbell. But at the time of recording, nothing's been confirmed. But it's
no,
looking quite likely that he could be coming through the door and being added onto the books at Rovers. So that's pretty much the transfer
yeah.
roundup.
The only other thing I'd seen,
So
but I think that kind of, I think the Miller one coming in kind of and ends any rumor I've seen. I saw a little rumor that there was 4 Championship clubs interested in Alfie Gilchrist at Chelsea, which is another right back. But I think with the fact they've now signed Miller from Hibs, I think that kind of ends any speculation on that one. That was more of a loan. I think it was a loan from Chelsea, but there are a few other teams apparently interested in him. So that would have been a good asset for us. He's young, but he's very, very talented, good player. But like I say, I think that interest is probably gone now with the fact we've got Miller in. So yeah, there's not much more I've seen out there in terms of transfer rumours yet.
well, it's not just the fact we've got Miller in; we've got Ryan Alabiosa in as
Mhm.
well, which would be another indicator of the reason for it. Sorry, and based on that Chelsea play you were talking about, I
Yeah,
was envisioning. I was asking myself, could he be like another Owen Beck, but on the right hand side for us?
yeah,
Who knows? But speak of transfers with transfer roundup, it's looking likely that John Buckley is going to be on his way out at
it
Rovers.
is. I think he's
It's
played
looking
pretty much
increasing.
the last game now. He doesn't seem to be in the plans, does he?
No, he didn't. He didn't feature much in the preseason.
Ainsley Pears is another one I think could be going.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's another one going because he didn't feature in the preseason either. So
No,
I think it's looking pretty likely that Pers and Buckley are on the way out now on the books. I think Rovers could cash in on them too, potentially. I don't know if there's any other championship teams that would be needing a goalkeeper or interested in a midfielder, more of attacking minded midfielder and the technical one like John Buckley.
yeah,
Um, it's quite sad in a way how it's ending for Buckley, but I think his time has come
yeah,
that he needs to go and find another club, get playing regular minutes. I mean, he's 25, 26 now. He should be at a stage in his career now at that age where he should be settled, should be playing regular first team football and found his level. And
yeah,
I don't think he's fine. I don't think he's got a place here at Rovers. I'm not sure what it is. Is it that he doesn't fit into Blair and Ishmael's plans. Do him and Ishmael not see eye to eye? Who knows? Or is it just the fact that he doesn't fit into the system that Ishmael's got putting in place at Rovers? We can always speculate on that, but it just looks like that Buckley's time at Rovers is over now. The writing is very much on the wall.
Does
And
seem
with
that way, doesn't it?
Pers, yeah, and with Pers, it looks like he's probably not going to find his way back into the team now as the number one goalkeeper. I think it looks like now that Balash Tov has very much cemented that place now and displaced Pers as being the Rovers number one for next season.
Yeah.
And I think from what I've seen of Tov compared to Pers, I think Tov for me is a safer pair of hands than Ainsley Pers. And
I
I'm
would
not saying
agree.
Ainsley Pers is a bad goalkeeper.
Not at all.
I just think as an all round package, as an all round goalkeeper, I think Toth has that quality that makes him the better keeper as well.
I would agree.
So I think that's the transfer roundup done now. So we're going to go and talk about the pre-season. We were in the Netherlands last weekend. It was the final pre-season game. We were against NEC Nijmegen. The first half, though, was a bit sloppy from Rovers. We didn't hit the ground running. We didn't find our rhythm. And Nijmegen had their clear-cut chances, didn't they? And they hit the post on one of them. And obviously, Christian Montgomery did a bit of a schoolboy error by doing a rash challenge in the penalty area that conceded as the first goal, and which they scored on the penalty. And then they found a way to come past through us, did a clever pass, clear-cut chance, had the chance and took it. They got them 2-0 up. In the second half, though, it looked much better from Rovers. Hogbo came on, looked very lively up on that forward line with his pace and his speed and taking on the defences. That really was a big threat to Nijmegen from Rovers with Hogbo on. He made a very good impact with that goal. We were quite unlucky, though, in some ways as well in that second half with our chances. Cogbo and Gay were creating some chances, but sadly, though, we didn't take our chances. Cogbo missed the shot. Travis did, and so did Gay. And then Nijmegen in towards the latter stage of the game. We're pressing up, got the goal with another clear-cut chance that it took. It ended obviously in a 3-1 defeat. Come to the end of pre-season. What do you make of that final pre-season game against Nijmegen?
I thought first half we were sloppy defensively and everything. We'd let them get ahead quite comfortably, and then we were always playing catch up second half. It's a bit disappointing that we didn't go out of pre-season without losing a single game, but on the whole, I think that'll give us a bit of a wake up call and say, look, you need to get yourselves more organised at the back. I mean, we've seen now that we can score goals going forward. It's now just about maybe tidying up at the back and finding a way.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the things we can learn from. I think in a way, I'm actually glad we had a defeat in the pre-season. Like we said, it gives us a bit of reality check. It helps us identify weaknesses, where we need to improve, or where reinforcements need to be made. It must be noted, though, that Todd Cantwell's absence was felt in that game. Because what I noticed, particularly in the first half of that game, is that we lacked any creativity in the midfield position. I know Tijon was played there, but he's still a young lad, isn't he? And I think the Nijmegen defence knew that and sort of like swarmed around him and bullied him a bit. And they knew that his pace would have been the biggest threat to them, but they obviously made sure they were in the right place at the right time, and it came to deal with him. But when Yuki Ohashi was dropped to number 10, there was a bit more creativity going there. But I think Ohashi's far more effective further up as a forward. We did get more of a rhythm into second half, particularly when Carbo came on.
I like
But
Cobb. I think he's going to be a good actor for this season.
Yeah, I think he was the standout player for me in that pre-season. What is a concern for me with Cardboard going into the season is staying fit because of
Yeah,
his blistering pace with his hamstring. If we keep him fit and available throughout the season, I think we could have an asset on our hands with him.
that's it. Yeah.
But where I see Cardboard right now for Rovers is more of a super sub player at the
Mhm.
moment. So I think he could be a very effective forward for us. But what was also plain and clear to see from that game was we were pretty short of options on the attack, particularly on the right flank, particularly
Yeah.
Dolan gone. I like Ryan Edges. I think he's a decent player. But as if you want a player on your attacking line, Ryan Hedges doesn't really have the end product.
No.
But to be fair to him, he's quite good with the pressing and the build-up play. So I suppose he can play a bit fit on a bit of a deeper role, but not as much defensive, if that makes sense. But still that attacking on the right flank. It did like make me realise which other positions needed more depth and reinforcements. And obviously
Yeah.
the number 10 position, which looks like Rovers have gone to address following Cantwell's absence, that could be hopefully be rectified, before the end of the window. But we do need to get some right forwards. I think we're crying
Our
out
back
for that.
right winger, don't we?
Yeah, that void definitely needs to be filled following Dolan's departure. So, and I think we need to be a bit more clinical on the final third. The
Yeah.
the real lesson, I think, one of the real lessons learned from that defeat against Nijmegen was if we don't take our chances, we can end up paying the price for that. And that was a bit of a theme last season,
It
you
was.
know, when it comes to the end product on the final third. So hopefully that should be something that we're working on more into next season. And I think there's plenty of lessons to be taken from it. But when all things considered, Nijmegen is a team playing at the high level of football as well. They play in the same league as Ajax and PSV Eindhoven. So that's another thing to consider. I think their quality did shine through when they got their
Yeah.
goals as well.
Yeah.
No, I think that's pretty much summarises the game for you. Well, how do you summarise the friendly against Nijmegen?
Like I said, there's definitely areas where we need to improve, like defensively. Maybe being a bit more clinical at the other end. That first period, there was some sloppy defending in there.
Yeah, I think we're a bit sloppy in possession all round. I don't think it just lies
Yeah.
down with the defence.
No,
But
but I'm just saying, on the whole, I think we need to sharpen up a bit more, especially at the back. But all
yeah,
round, you just sharpen up a bit more. But
yeah, I don't
they've
think,
had a
don't think.
wake up call there after cruising through pre-season. They've had a bit of a wake up call in that game. So fingers crossed, they might have learned something from that.
Yeah, hopefully they have. And I think speaking of the preseason, I think it's a good time to summarise it now after
Mhm.
that final preseason is done. I think there's a lot to learn from that preseason. I think Valerian Ismail's done a good job on trying to galvanise the squad and unify the squad. After when he came in and the chaos, the uncertainty off the pitch with the owners
Yeah,
and fans protesting following John Hughes' departure, I think he's done a really good job with that. And the way he speaks to the media and speaks to the press, he's upfront and honest. And I think he's helping build bridges between the club and the fans as well. I think he's done a really good job with that, where credit
I
is
think he's
due.
doing a smashing job as Ishmael. I just think he's doing well to incorporate the youth into the team as well. And I just hope now with some of these new signings as well, he can go on, push ahead and try and push these youth players through. And fingers crossed, we improve.
Yeah, definitely. I think Rovers could be an exciting team to watch with this high pressing, attacking football with intense and purpose
Yeah,
going into the season. I think if things click and come together, a lot of football fans who don't follow and support Rovers from the outside looking in had us down to be a team that could be struggling next season. I get that because of the departures from Tyrese Dolan, Andy Vyman, and Danny Bart. I totally get that. And with the team that we've got on paper and with the overseas signings that we've got, But it does remain to be seen. Even for us, it's a tough call on how we could actually do next season. But we'll get a better idea come Christmas, really, on where we stand, and then
Yeah.
later on in the season and what we got to play for. I
Mhm.
think once Valerian Ishmael's had a full season in charge, that's if he has a full season in charge, because it would be nice to see for once a manager at Rovers doing one full season, because we haven't had that for some time. Not since Yondal Thomason on
Yeah.
his tenure, was it? He had his one full season, didn't he? That was the last time it happened.
Which is nicely,
Which
nicely leading into a next segue sort of thing into what do we expect from Rovers this season?
yeah, it could be. It could give us a glimpse of what Rovers could do next season into this preseason. I think there's a lot to learn from it.
I
I
mean,
think there's more to come from
I think
some
there
of
is.
our players, which we mentioned,
Personally,
didn't we, on the previous pod? Not going to go into too much detail. I mean, Todd
no.
Cantwell, I think there's more to come from. Yuki Ohashi, Augustus
Carpo.
Cargo. They're the three players that stand out for me, which I'm quite excited to see based on how they know the preseason.
I don't want to put pressure on us and all that lot, and I don't think we
No.
will. I don't think we will. It would be nice if we could get a playoff spot, but I do think we'll finish top 10.
You think
That's
it'll
going
be
to be my
top 10?
shout. Top 10, I'd be quite happy with that.
If we're top 10, I think it could be a good season. I think realistically, I think we're going to be more mid-table next season.
Fair enough. I think
because
top
we're in
10.
the
I'm not gonna push for playoff. I don't think
no.
we've quite got the quality of some of the other teams in there, and there's some good managers in there. But I do think we're quite hungry. We've got quite a youthful squad this time around, and we seem to be quite good on the press. I think there's a chance we could get top 10, and I think that'd be quite a
Uh,
good season for us.
I think mid-table would be
Fair
more
enough.
realistic target.
So I'm being optimistic. You're being realistic. We'll reassess this at Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back at Christmas and see how we actually do, and then react to what our thoughts and the opinions are from now. That'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see on how Rovers could shape up next season. However, mixture nerves and excitement about it. Big nerves is more the uncertainty because of the players that were signed, the
Yeah.
unknowns from abroad. But it's the excitement from what I've already seen in flashes from the preseason.
And there's been a lot of
And
experienced players leave us, which is another thing.
yeah, and it's good that we got Sean McLaughlin through the door though, which has actually helped, and keeping Adam Forshaw on the books as well, because they're the experienced ones in the championship. But we do have like other experienced players in the squad though, which that have played in championship some time now. Obviously, we've got Hyam, Wharton, McLaughlin, as we already mentioned, Tronstad, Travis, Cantwell. They've all played in championship some time, so we do have some experienced players in the championship.
Yeah, we do.
I think what they're meaning more that we're not having experienced players is that sort of leadership on the pitch, leadership figures on the pitch. I think the only leaders we've got on the pitch right now, from where I stand, is Travis and Hyam. I think
Yeah.
they're like the actual leadership figures on the pitch. And I think coming into next season, this is where Hyam really needs to step up now that Danny Barter's gone. This is his time to step up. If it's not
I
going to be
agree.
him, I think Scott Wharton might be better for stepping up. But because he's on the back end of a long-term injury, I don't think it's right for him to step up now. I think it's more the focus on keeping Wharton fit and
Yeah.
available throughout the season, particularly with Hayden Carter's recurring injury problems as well, which isn't great for us. Speaking of other things where Rovers need to like improve and identify, I think we need we need ideally a goal scorer. I'm not sure that Harry Leonard is gonna be part of the plans for next season. Given that he's been injured, they're easing him back. He's been playing for 20, he's been dropped down for 21s, which he's been scoring goals for. I think he needs to be built up and ready for getting minutes on the pitch somewhere else, particularly I think with a loan spell going forward at the moment for Harry Leonard. I think that might be the best option for him. I
Fair
just think
enough.
he needs to be built up and get a bit more strength in him to start playing for us in the Championship. Because it's frustrating to see because Leonard can score goals. We've seen them flashes of where he can actually be that person to get us the ball in the net as well. Being there at the right place at the right time. Another thing I think I've learned from the preseason is that I think we're going to improve more, or we can improve more with goal contribution. I
Yes.
think that's more spread out and not as reliant on players.
And
It
we've
did
still
sort of
got.
spread out last season, but I don't think there were enough players being goal threats last season. But towards the end of the season, last season, and as we've gone into the pre-season, I think there's been more goal contributions. I can see, hopefully, we can see more from Cogbo and Gahey with their goal contribution coming into next season. And Cantwell could be another one. Or even Deneve could be another one and be another example of being a goal threat as well. Hopefully, I could see Travis and Tronstad having a go at trying for goals as well next season.
There's one player that we haven't even mentioned here, which I'm dying to mention. Yes, okay, we've not seen much of him at pre-season because he has been injured, but he's a new signing and he looks good at the transition and the creative side of things. I can't wait to see him actually getting some minutes on the pitch and seeing how he does for us. That's Tavares.
Yeah, Tavares looked like he could be one. He could be more of a goal threat, and when it comes to the midfielders as well, hopefully.
So that's another one that
I'd
I'm
like to
excited
see
to see
that.
the look of when he gets going.
Another player that I forgot to mention who could be contributing goals and potentially be a goal threat. I'd like to see is Iger Tijon, who you have
He's
sung his
on.
praises
He's
for.
on. Yeah,
He's another
absolutely.
one as well. So I think we've learned plenty from the preseason going
Yeah,
into it. So now the preseason is over and done with, the championship is underway this weekend. And our opening game of the season is away at the Hawthorns against West Brom. So it's going to be a tough one to call, really.
it's
Not
hard for
just
me
as
to
a
pick.
Rovers fan from us on our part, but I think for Baggies fans as well, because Ryan Mason is an unknown entity in
It's
managing
coming
a
now. Isn't it?
football club. And, they've made 3 signings. They've spent quite well from what I've seen. I did a bit of research. And they've got some proven quality players in there as well. I don't know where West Brom could be next season, but I don't think they're going to be quite the force they used to be.
No,
On the same token, they were not, I suppose.
but aiming for a playoff spot, maybe
Yeah,
finishing top 10 area.
yeah, it looks like that for West Brom from where I'm sitting. Anyway, we have a track record of starting all right though in the opening games of
We
seasons. I
do.
mean, past couple of seasons we grabbed wins. We had a very good win against Derby last season. We were that 4-2 win. Season before that was that 1-0 win against QPR.
Game against West Brom was a good result as well. So
Yeah, that's something worth considering in as well. But really tough call. Really tough call right now.
away at the Hawthorns, I'd be quite happy with a draw. I'd be disappointed we don't get something out of the first game. I'd be quite happy with a draw. Obviously, I always want us to win, but I think a draw would be a result that I could walk away with. First game of the season, away at the Hawthorns, a tough team. I'd be content with a draw.
Yeah, I mean, if we get a draw, I think that'd be positive to take.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'm wondering what our starting 11 would be for Rovers. That'd be interesting to see. I think obviously got
that's
Toe.
hard to
I think
predict myself.
he's gonna be in key. Yeah, he's gonna be in goal. I think he's pretty much now that position. I think at centre back, I think Hyam's definitely certain to start there.
Yeah,
I think he might start Scott McLaughlin for fitness reasons over
you
Scott
reckon?
Wharton. Oh
Fair
yeah,
enough.
Sean McLaughlin, sorry, over
I'd,
Wharton,
I'd
yeah.
like I'd like to see Scott Wharton start, but I can see a reason for McLaughlin.
And left back, I think it's going to be Yuri Ribeiro. I think he's
Rivero,
going to
yeah,
be at right back. Well, not right back, left back, sorry. Right
yeah,
back, I think it's going to be Ryan Alabiosu. I think he's going
yeah.
to be there over
We're
Montgomery.
gonna have Travers and Tronstad in the middle. That's expected.
Yeah, that's very much speaks for itself, doesn't it, having Travis and Tronstad there.
Campbell just ahead of them. And then number 10.
I'd say Campbell will obviously be in front of Travis and Tronstad. Ryan Hedges on the right. I think I'd play Cogbo over Dion Deneve based on how sharp and lively he was in the last preseason game and throughout
Yeah,
the preseason. I'd have Ohashi starting as the further in the middle up front. I think that'd be a good lineup for Rovers going into a game against West Brom. Thank you for watching Totally Rovers. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Sure, everybody. Thank you for listening.